Hi, sir.
Am I audible to you, children?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so dear children, in the previous class, we completed the chapter statistics. So today we are going to start with the next chapter after statistics, that is congruence of triangles. So here it is, congruence of triangle. Now, congruence means in simple language, it means they are the same. Okay, same hona, equal, congruence, they are one and the same. Okay. Now, correspondence between vertices of two triangles. Let us consider we have two triangles over here. The first triangle is ABC and the other one is PQR. The symbol ABC, then you can see a double arrow over here and then PQR. What does it mean? It means 1 to 1 correspondence is established between the vertices A, B, C of triangle ABC and vertices P, Q, R of triangle PQR in the order shown in the symbol. I'll explain in detail, don't worry. It's a very simple concept. Therefore, the pairs of corresponding vertices are A corresponds to P. So, basically, there are two triangles, ABC and okay, PQR. There are two triangles, ABC and PQR. A, B, C, P, Q, R. So, this means A vertex is just like P vertex. This means B is corresponding to Q, and this means C is corresponding to R. Okay. Now, corresponding means क्या होता है सब डिटेल में we'll cover. Don't worry. So, in general, whenever we wish to say that one vertex is corresponding, or maybe representing, or maybe duplicating, or maybe becoming same as the other vertex, we show them with the help of a symbol double-headed arrow. We'll write ABC and in the same sequence A के साथ जो भी corresponding होता होगा वो first में ही लिखना है. So for example, if A is corresponding to P, then I'll write in the sequence. But for example, if A is corresponding to Q, B is corresponding to R, C is corresponding to P. If that is the scenario, I'll write A, B, C corresponds to QRP. So this is how we write. So the sequence is very important, whatever sequence we are writing. Okay. ठीक है. Now we know that 1 to 1 सत्यज. ओके सी इतना जितना मैंने एक्सप्लेन किया है उसमें आपको डाउट आ सकते हैं बिकॉज आई हैव हार्डली स्टार्टेड द एक्सप्लेनेशन. सो
No, no, no. There was just one thing. Is it similar to congruency?
yes, the whole topic is
Okay.
congruency only.
So
So
then these both mean the same word, right? Basically, correspondence
uh,
and congruency.
no, correspondence and congruence are not exactly the same. A
Yeah,
little bit of difference are there. We will come to know. Don't worry.
that was my doubt, the difference.
Yeah, I'll let you know. Not a problem. So the topics, the overall chapter's name is congruence. and I've started with a subtopic जिसका नाम है one to one correspondence. Okay. So right now, whatever I'm explaining is purely about correspondence, not congruence. Slowly, I will reach congruence. Okay. I hope it's clear. Satya? Like just like an example, for example, if I wish to explain Apple, I will start with A. I will not say anything about Apple. I will speak about A, I will speak about P, I will speak about the second P, I will speak about L, I will speak about E, then only I will complete the Apple. Similarly, my overall target is to reach congruence, but I'm starting with the first point, that is correspondence. They are not one and the same, but it's a stepping stone or a ladder to reach congruence. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, uh, we know that one-to-one correspondence between vertices of two triangles is expressed in six different ways as shown in the figure. For example, in this case, wait, hmm. Now let me consider the first way. That is, if we are expressing like this, ABC corresponds to XYZ. Okay, it means what? ABC corresponds to XYZ means what? The pairs of corresponding sides are AB, like the side AB. As I've already told you, the what do we say? The sequence important plays a very important role. So if I'm saying that ABC is corresponding to XYZ, which means angle A will correspond to angle X. Okay. Angle B will correspond to angle Y. Angle C will correspond to angle Z. So that's what they have said. A corresponds to X, B corresponds to Y, and C corresponds to Z. Angle. Previously, we were discussing only about the names. At the same time, the sides as AB side corresponds to XY side. So position is very important. The first two letters, in order to form a side, you need two letters or two vertices. When you join the first two vertices, you get one side. So यहाँ पर अगर पहले दो vertices की बात कर रहे हो तो दूसरे साइड पे भी पहले दो vertices की ही बात करने हैं. You need to speak regarding the first two vertices only. If you are speaking about BC means the last two vertices. Over here also you will speak about the last two vertices, which means the BC will correspond to YZ only. Similarly, A, C. If we are speaking about A and C, the corner wale words, letters, then AC will correspond to XY only. X and Z. Sorry, not Y, Z it is. It's a printing mistake. Here this should be Z. So position के हिसाब से we can say कि कौन से साइड को correspond करता है. Correspond means for now you can understand match the following, जैसे match करना. कौन से साइड को मैच करता है, which side is matching which side or which angle is matching which side. Correspond means matching. Okay, not equal, but you can say similar or same type. Match the following, जैसे. Okay. Now, when the corresponding sides and corresponding angles of two triangles are congruent, now we are going to speak about congruent. What is the meaning of congruent? Congruent means same. Okay. Congruent means same. Okay. Or agreeing with. Now, when these corresponding sides and angles, when they become congruent, then we say that the triangles are also congruent. Which means if they are not congruent, which means we will say that the triangles are only corresponding to each other. Correspond कर रहा है मतलब they are only matching with each other, but they are not congruent because the sides are not congruent or maybe angles are not congruent. For example, in this case, in other words, we can say two triangles must have six pair of congruent elements to be congruent. Congruence of two figures is denoted by a symbol. The symbol is shown over here. The congruent symbol means first you will write equal to sign, then उसके ऊपर एक wavy बस, a wavy. on the head of equal to sign. This symbol is called as congruent. Congruent symbol. Okay. Congruent symbol matlab they should be same. For example, in this case, angle P is congruent to angle D. That's what they have written. Angle P is congruent to angle D. And angle Q is congruent to angle E. Hence, angle Q is congruent to angle E. And similarly, R is congruent to angle F. Now, if they are congruent, how do we show in the figure that they are congruent? We can show some kind of marks. For example, in this case, what they have done, they have covered this angle with an arc. They have drawn an arc over here. P में एक आर्क ड्रॉ किया तो D में भी एक आर्क ड्रॉ करेंगे. We will draw one arc in the D as well because P and D they are same. If we speak about Q and E, then obviously Q and E they are same. आप बोलोगे सर यहाँ पर भी एक आर्क बनाएंगे और यहाँ पर भी एक आर्क बनाएंगे. See we can do that, but यहाँ पर एक छोटा सा कॉम्प्लिकेशन ये होता है कि P is also having one arc and Q is also having one arc. For example, P can be 60, D can be 60, Q can be 70, and E can be 70. Now Q and E are same, but P and Q they जरूरी नहीं है कि वो लोग सेम हो जाए. It's not compulsory that they should be same. So what should we do? We should ensure that they both should not have the same symbols. If P is having one arc, let us draw one more arc over here to show that they both are different with each other. So if I'm drawing two arcs on Q, I will draw two arcs on E as well, showing the similarity between them. So if one is 60, the other one is 70, obviously the third one will be 50. Again, third one is different than both of them. So here I'll draw three arcs, one, two, and three, and over here as well I'll draw three arcs. So these arc symbols they show that they are same or they are equal to each other. This goes for angles. Now, like how angles are congruent, the sides should also be congruent. In this case, PQ is congruent to DE. So in order to show the congruence, what we can do, we can draw a small strike over here. And similar to that, same strike हम लोग दूसरे triangle में भी बनाएंगे. This strike shows that this particular side is equal to this particular side. It's congruent to this particular side. What about this? ये दोनों भी same है. Like, but again, same story. If this is 5, this is 5. If this is 6, this is 6. ये दोनों तो सेम है बट व्हाट अबाउट दिस 5 and 6 दे आर नॉट सेम राइट. सो यहाँ पर एक सिंगल स्ट्राइक से हम लोग काम नहीं चला सकते. वी विल हैव टू ड्रॉ टू स्ट्राइक्स ओवर हियर एंड टू मैच इट वी विल हैव टू ड्रॉ टू स्ट्राइक्स ओवर हियर एज वेल. And similarly goes with the third side. I'll draw three strikes over here and three strikes over here, showing that they are two different triangles or two different measures. Okay, so this is how we show that they are congruent. So right now मैंने सिर्फ इतना बताया कि how to show that two triangles are congruent. इसके अलावा कुछ नहीं बताया. I have only taught you one thing, how to show two triangles are congruent or how to show two triangles are corresponding. So far so clear? Okay. Hmm. Now, if you are able to find that all these six conditions, like all three angles are congruent and all three sides are congruent, if all six conditions are happening at once, you can say that yes, both the triangles are congruent. Okay, so we will write like this: triangle symbol P Q R. कितना लिखा? Then same sequence में, that means P एंगल से जो भी एंगल congruent रहेगा वही आना चाहिए पहले. D, then E, then F. Like this. In the same sequence you have to write. And this symbol means they are congruent. So while reading, we read like this. We read as triangle PQR is congruent to triangle DEF. But so you'll think, okay, sir, whenever we wish, अगर हमें चेक करना है, if we want to check whether two triangles are congruent or not, हमें ये सारे 6 conditions चेक करने पड़ेंगे. We will have to check all the 6 conditions. Oh my God, it's a tough job, यार. It's a time-consuming job. Yes, definitely, it's a time-consuming job. Hence, there is one more technique. Two triangles can be congruent even if they satisfy 3 particular conditions out of 6 conditions. So, ideally speaking, yes, all 6 should be true in case of congruent triangles. So if two triangles are congruent, all the 6 cases will stand true. या फिर उल्टा बोलोगे, if all the 6 cases are standing true, then I can say that ये both the triangles are congruent with each other. लेकिन सारे 6 cases हम लोग करते बैठेंगे तो टाइम चला जाएगा. We'll lose time. So in order to save time, what we can do, they are saying that don't check for all 6 conditions, but check for 3 conditions. अगर 3 conditions अगर आपको सेम लगते हैं, then you can say that the triangle is congruent. बट ऐसे मत सोचना कि कोई भी 3 conditions देख सकते हैं. नो, इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट. देर आर सर्टन, आई टेल यू विच 3 conditions कैन हेल्प. सो दोस, by checking the conditions, if we wish to find a pair of congruent triangles, we say that that process of checking the condition is called as test. Test is the process of checking the condition. So test for congruence of triangles, the first test is SSS test. इसमें एक बात तो क्लियर हो गया. S stands for, सी दो ही चीज है. S means side, A means angle. That's it. खत्म बात. So here 3 times ऐसे मतलब तीनों साइड देखना है और कुछ नहीं है. You have to check all 3 sides. That means for the given correspondence of vertices of 2 triangles, 3 sides of one triangle are congruent with the corresponding 3 sides of the other triangle. The 2 triangles are congruent. So what they have said, if the 3 sides, for example, this side is congruent to this side is congruent to this, and this side is congruent to this. If you feel that 3 sides are congruent with each other, then you can directly say that these 2 triangles ABC is congruent to PQR. But yes, since you have checked only 3 sides, you will have to declare कि हाँ भाई कौन सा test, which test is allowing you to declare that they are congruent. The test name is SSS test. 3S means 3 sides. So in this test, in order to prove any triangle congruent, you have to check all the 3 sides. So only 3 sides you have to check, only 3 conditions you have to check. You don't have to check the angles. If you feel that all 3 sides are equal to one another, all 3 pairs are equal, then you can directly see that the triangles are congruent. So far, so clear?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Okay. सेम चीज जो मैंने बोला वही यहाँ पर लिख के दिखाया है. They found that side AB is congruent to PQ, side BC is congruent to QR, side AC is congruent to PR. Then they declared, they concluded, then triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR by, in the bracket bataya, by SSS test. So you have to declare that. Now the next test is SAS test. Simple logic. SAS means side. Then what is SAS?
Side angle side,
Side
sir.
angle side.
Yes, very simple. Side, angle, side. Which means you must have 2 sides congruent and an angle between them should be congruent. That is the whole logic. Okay. For the given correspondence of vertices of 2 triangles, 2 sides and the included angle of one triangle are congruent with corresponding 2 sides and included angle of the other triangle, then the 2 triangles are congruent. So SAS में the A stands in between, which means if PQ is congruent to DE and QR is congruent to EF, you will draw these symbols and angle जो congruent होना है, that angle should be over here only. Well, if you are saying that this is congruent to this, that is not useful for us. But if these two are congruent, then it is useful for us because angle should be between the sides. Then you will write three lines. This side is congruent to this side is congruent to this angle is congruent to this. Hence, the triangle is congruent to the other triangle by SAS test. So first test was SSS, the second test is ASAS. Okay. The next one is ASA test. So logically speaking, A means angle, S means side. So ASA test means angle side angle, which means you need to get two angles and उसके बीच में एक side होना चाहिए like this. If this angle is congruent to this and this side is congruent to this angle is congruent to this and जो side है वो उन दोनों angles के बीच में होना चाहिए. बीच वाला sides are also constant. Then you can directly declare that these two triangles are constant by ASA test. So far so clear? Okay. The next test is HS test. H stands for hypotenuse, S stands for side. For the given correspondence of the vertices of two right angle triangles, one side and hypotenuse of one triangle are congruent with the corresponding side and hypotenuse of the other triangle, then the two right angle triangles are congruent, which means hypotenuse आपको congruent अगर मिल रहा है and कोई भी एक side, या तो ये side और this side, whichever side you feel, कोई भी एक side and hypotenuse अगर congruent है, then you can directly say that both the triangles are congruent. By the way, whenever you speak about hypotenuse, this is applicable only for right angle triangle. You should not forget. Equilateral triangle, obtuse angle triangle, इन सब चीजों के लिए hypotenuse is not applicable. Hypotenuse is applicable only for right angle triangle. This you must remember. Okay? Any doubts so far? Okay. Okay. So let's solve a couple of solved examples and then go to the worksheet. Now, what do you think? State the test for congruence of the triangles in each case. For the first case, which is the congruence? Now, which is the test for the congruence? What do you think?
The hypotenuse side.
Hmm, hypotenuse. This side is common for both, and this is equal to this is equal to this. So, which means side, side, side. All three sides are congruent. Hence, this is congruent by SSS test. Do you understand this?
There can also be hypotenuse side, right?
Absolutely. Now, if this is 90 degree, you can also, by the way, one triangle, see, if one triangle is congruent, it will be congruent by all the rules, by the way. You can prove it by SSS, you can prove it by SAS, you can prove it by ASA, you can prove it by HS. एक चीज अगर कॉन्ग्रुएंट है तो आप कोई भी टेस्ट यूज करके उसको कॉन्ग्रुएंट है करके प्रूव कर सकते हैं. ऐसा कुछ हार्ड एंड फास्ट, देयर इज नो हार्ड एंड फास्ट रूल दैट यू कैन प्रूव कॉन्ग्रुएंस यूजिंग ओनली वन टेस्ट, नॉट मोर देन वन टेस्ट. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. यू कैन यूज एनी ऑफ द टेस्ट. In this case, SSS is applicable. In this case, SAS is also applicable because if this is 90 and this is 90, these the two sides corresponding to them, आजू बाजू के दोनों sides अगर congruent होते हैं तो this is also proved, है कि नहीं? Similarly, alternate angle theorem. Do you know what is alternate angle theorem? Like if you have a parallel line like this, बीच में से एक transverse line अगर गया है, then this angle is congruent to this angle. Are you aware of this theorem?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So when you
Yes,
logically
sir.
think about this, so this is a parallel line. These two are parallel lines, which means this angle is corresponding to this angle, right? They both are same.
Yes, sir.
And similarly, with the same logic, this angle corresponds to this angle. So you can prove it by ASA also, angle side angle. Yeah. You can prove it by HS also, hypotenuse side. So all the test can be like any of the test can be used to prove the congruence. So ऐसा कुछ hard and fast rule नहीं है that you can use only one test. Whichever you feel is the easiest one to solve that particular problem, you can use that test. Okay? Okay. ये सब तो easy है. Okay. Exercise का one problem will do. State the test for congruence by which the following triangles are congruent. So what do you think? These two triangles, they are congruent by which test?
HS test.
HS test.
Yes,
HS.
yes. Very good. So according to HS, now you'll say, sir, HS test है तो बाकी सब भी तो correct ही होता है. Yes. लेकिन
Yes,
क्या
sir.
है? लेकिन क्या है? I'll tell you the difference. बाकी सब है ना करेक्ट है provided you will have to find the necessary data. In the previous problem also we actually derived the necessary data and then we proved that this is congruent as per that particular test. Am I correct or not? जैसे कि वो एंगल
Yes, sir.
alternate angle theorem का we derived that this angle is equal to this angle, तब जाके we could prove the ASA test or SAS test, whatever it is. Okay, so my point is, in this question, not every time you have to sit and derive. In this question, they are the question is very simple. They are asking कि ये कॉन्ग्रुएंट है बट कौन से टेस्ट से उसको प्रूव किया जा सकता है. तो सामने सामने जो डेटा दिख रहा है, वट एवर डेटा यू कैन सी upfront, that data only you have to use. Now in this case, as you can see, there is a hypotenuse. Why is it hypotenuse? Because it is 90 degree, therefore it is hypotenuse, and there is a side. So there are only two data. And you will say, sir, ये भी तो एक data है. Yes, ये भी data है. But logically, when you see, it's SSA. So this is SSA, which is not a test. So we cannot use it. Then the next option is only HS. So hence HS is your correct answer. Do you understand this?
Sir, why I have a doubt, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So if it were be the angle QRP and angle SRT were congruent, then would it be SAS test?
If it was QRP and SRT, they were congruent, then it would have been, then you would have had to prove that this side is also congruent to this side. Then it would have been SAS test. है कि नहीं?
Yes.
The sequence is very important.
So if angle QPR and RTS are congruent, then it would be
Yes,
SAS
SAS
test.
test. Yes. That would have been there. If this was already given that they are
Yes, sir.
congruent, then you can directly say, okay, fine, SAS is also correct answer. HS is also correct answer. But if you'll say, sir, अगर ऐसा कुछ सिचुएशन आया तो which one should we go, मतलब SAS भी दिख रहा है, HS भी दिख रहा है, तो इसमें से किसको फर्स्ट प्रेफरेंस देना है? सी ऑलवेज रिमेंबर, SAS में ना 3 चेक्स है, 1 2 3 3 चेक्स है. HS में सिर्फ है
So,
ना
but
2 ही
then
चेक्स
how
है.
would we do it conclude it with hypotenuse side? Because I can't, deduce it from the red marks.
Just a minute, I'll explain. Let me complete this point. My point is, for example, in this case, हाँ, just for example बता रहा हूँ. Let me say they have said that this angle is also congruent. For example, they have said that the angle is also congruent. So this congruence can be proved by HS test also. This congruent can be proved by SAS test also. है कि नहीं? Both are correct. तो एग्जाम में कौन सा टिक करेंगे? अगर दोनों करेक्ट मिला तो आई विल गो फॉर SAS. Why will I go for SAS? Because SAS में 1 2 3 चेक पॉइंट्स कवर हो रहे हैं. HS में सिर्फ 2 ही चेक पॉइंट्स कवर होते हैं. So this is more accurate as compared to this one. Both are same, but still I will go for SAS. I would have tick marked SAS in that case if this data was given. I hope I am clear. It's a hypothetical
Yes, sir.
situation where I'm helping you
Yes,
to
sir.
imagine. Okay. Now tell me, what was your query? Somebody was asking a query. Okay, I'll proceed further. Okay. रैंडम ये तो इजी है यार. छोड़ो. हम्म, हाँ, दिस वन.
SAS.
वेरी गुड. वर्टिकली
Yes, sir.
ऑपोजिट एंगल.
SAS. Vertically
Yeah.
opposite angles are equal.
यस.
Yes, sir.
तो SA.
So can we do the earlier problems? They're really fast to solve, so I think we can get further first.
Sorry. Can we
So
do
could
what?
you explain the above?
The
Which one?
upper
This
problems B, C, yeah, all those, because they are easy
B
to
and
solve.
C. No, we are not going to see. This is exercise problem. We are not going to solve all the problems. I'm just skimming the problems.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
So could you do question 4?
D1.
So could you
Okay.
do question 4?
Okay. In angles, there
No,
is a
so question 4.
question 4. Okay.
Yes, sir.
How many conditions are necessary to prove the congruence of two triangles and how many are sufficient? What do you think? What is the answer? 6 and? Sorry, I don't know whether my internet is bad or yours.
6 and 2?
Yeah, 6 and 2. Very 6
6
and
So
and
3.
6
1.
and 2?
6 and 3. Technically speaking, 6 and 3.
So 6 and
I'll tell you why. I understood why did you choose 6 and 2.
Achha.
You thought about HS. Hence you said 6 and 2. But
Yes,
my
sir.
point is, my dear child,
Yes, sir.
technically speaking, H तभी ही exist करता है जब ये 90 degree होता है. So there is
90
already a
degree. Yes, sir.
hidden third information.
Okay,
है कि
sir.
नहीं? Hypotenuse one
Yes,
side
sir.
and this 90 is a hidden third information. So at least you need three information. Three conditions
Okay,
तो
sir.
चाहिए ही चाहिए.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Sir, and how do you do the third one?
How will you mention the correspondence of A to P, B to Q, and C to R? So I'll write A, B, C. Then उसी सीक्वेंस में A पहला है ना. So this is 1, तो इसको भी 1 दूंगा. इसको 2 है तो इसको भी 2 दूंगा. इसको 3 है तो इसको भी 3 दूंगा. So I'll draw the arrows. First letter will be P, second letter will be Q, and third letter will be R. Got it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Sir,
got it. Yes,
I
sir.
have a doubt, sir.
Yeah.
In the congruence of triangles,
Mm-hmm.
how do you get six conditions? Like, would it be congruent even if there are just four conditions
My dear child,
for question four?
6 conditions means what? All three angles must be congruent and all three sides must be congruent. Hence 6 conditions. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Which means angle must be congruent, angle must be congruent, angle must be congruent. Then side must be congruent, side must be congruent, side must be congruent. Total 6. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Hmm. Hmm.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. And what you were pointing out to, that is not condition, that is test. So SAS is not a condition. SAS is a test. SSS, ASA, HS, they all are tests. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Hmm. Okay. Sixth question. In the adjoining figure, some information is given. What additional information should be supplied so that triangle ABC and ADC will be congruent by SAS test? Now, first of all, what information do we have?
So AC is a common line, so it is
Very
equal
good.
for both,
Very
and
good.
DC is congruent to CD.
Very good. So we need to prove the congruence by wait, नाम देख लेता हूँ A, B, C and ADC. हाँ, correct. We need to prove the congruence by this particular test. So which information is
Angle
needed now?
ACD and
So angle
ABCC.
ACD and ACB should
Ah,
be equal.
very good. So option B is your correct answer. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Hmm.
sir.
So this particular angle must be equal to this particular angle. If this data is given, then I can prove with the help of SAS test. Okay. Ninth one. In the adjoining figure, AD is congruent to BC. Wait, AD is congruent to BC. ठीक है. AC is congruent to BD. Then which test is triangle ABC and ABD congruent? What do you think?
They are not congruent.
हाँ, very good, very good,
Yes, sir.
very
They are
good
not
question.
congruent.
Very good. So यहाँ पर ना some students what do they do? वो लोग बोलेंगे सर ये तो common side है. So this is तो anyway congruent. So which means side दो side तो हो गया तीसरा side मिल गया मतलब SSS test से we can prove that they are congruent. But यहाँ पर the tricky part is the name. Okay fine. If you say that it is congruent तो ठीक है. So you must understand. अब एक sequence कैसे होगा? ए बी सी इफ एबीसी इज द फर्स्ट ट्राइंगल उसके कॉन्ग्रुएंस में जो दूसरा ट्राइंगल आएगा उसका सीक्वेंस क्या होना चाहिए यू शुड थिंक अबाउट इट दिस ए लाइज बिटवीन थ्री मतलब आई एम जस्ट मार्किंग दिस एज साइड वन दिस इज साइड वन दिस इज साइड टू दिस इज साइड टू एंड दिस इज साइड थ्री नाउ ए इज बिटवीन वन एंड थ्री तो दूसरे ट्राइंगल में जो भी वन और थ्री के बीच में है वही आना चाहिए यहाँ पर ए की जगह पे दूसरे ट्राइंगल में दिस इज वन एंड दिस इज थ्री विच मीन्स द फर्स्ट लेटर शुड बी बी आई होप आई एम क्लियर ओके सिमिलरली बी बी फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर ट्राइंगल बी इज बिटवीन थ्री एंड टू फॉर ए बी डी थ्री एंड टू के बीच में जो भी आता है हु इज कमिंग बिटवीन थ्री एंड टू ए इज कमिंग बिटवीन थ्री एंड टू एंड ऑब्वियसली जो बचा है वो लास्ट में लिखेंगे सो triangle ABC is congruent to triangle BAD. But here they are asking the congruence between triangle ABC and ABD. I hope I'm clear. Hence, I will say that they are not congruent. Do
Sir,
you
I didn't
understand that?
understand.
Okay.
Sir, I didn't understand how you got BAD instead of ABD.
Okay. Mm, our meeting is about to end. We'll rejoin again and then I'll explain again.
Sir.